Yay! I'm excited today, guys. How does growing greens in your garden help you to manifest? I've just come off a call with one of my beautiful beacons who was with us for a 3-day immersion, and we were talking all things manifestation and abundance, which is why I'm a little bit late jumping onto this live than I would have been. But here's the thing. Abundance is not just money. So if you have a money story running that you don't feel like you are worthy, or you can see in your bank account that you don't have the abundance there that you would like, then you need to start taking your attention off the money until you have cleared the blocks around that and start putting your attention somewhere else that equally has the same energy. Now, I talked about this the other week, this lateral move of energy, and I can't talk about it enough. So if you guys don't know who I am, I'm Rebecca Thompson, and I work with women to help them become coherent in all aspects of their life, so that you are physically, emotionally, mentally, energetically, spiritually, have I left any out, aligned with your sovereignty, your ability to manifest, your abundance, your health, right? Your joy, your freedom, your spaciousness. That has to all resonate at the same level. So what are one of the ways that you can really tune into a feeling of abundance if you're looking at your bank account and going, I don't feel very abundant right now? You've got to take your awareness off of that, take your attention off of that, and into other areas that you do have evidence for abundance, so that you can believe that you are abundant. This is about building faith. So one of the things that I've been wanting to show you is how excited I am, look, over my wicking beds. I showed a post a while back, I think just a couple of weeks ago, that we had finally planted them out. And here they are, feeling so abundant and green. And every time I come out and I pick something, it just feels so nourishing. And so this is a fabulous lateral move. Yes? And it might not be this for you. You might not be very green fingered. I'm not terribly green fingered, but I tell you what, these wicking beds are amazing. I'm going to see if I can turn my camera around. Here we go. Let me show you. So here, I've got some just in a pot here. These are some yellow zucchinis and some, I think that's ginger. I'm not sure if that's ginger or turmeric there. But look at this. We only planted them out a couple of weeks ago. We have some more yellow zucchinis. We have different sorts of herbs, thyme, basil, coriander, some Chinese, I think that's kangkong, some rainbow chard here, some bunching beans, tomatoes. Let me take you to this one, because this one's even more impressive. Look, Chinese, different Chinese lettuces, mustard lettuces, and mizuna, some other spinach, right? There is so much abundance here, so much abundance. And when we tap into this feeling, I'll come back to you. When you are feeling that feeling every day, when you are tapping into the gratitude and the abundance in nature, it creates it in other areas of your life. You stop looking for where there's lack. Stop putting attention on that, and put attention instead on things that feel really amazing and feel really abundant. And here's the beautiful thing, like when you get seedlings, let me just turn you back around again. When you buy seedlings, there's always loads, right? Isn't there? There's always like 3 or 4 different ones in one little pot. And so what I do is, you don't want to like separate them. Hang on. You don't want to separate them necessarily straight away, because they're a little bit delicate. They're a bit too small, yeah? And you're going to damage all the roots. So what I do is I plant them together. You can see here. You can see I've got about 5 different varieties there, right? And I plant them together until they're looking very robust, like this. And then if I leave them like that, they're going to start crowding each other out. A bit like our life, right? Crowding out thoughts, crowding out each other. But what I'm going to do, probably this weekend, give them a few more days, is then I will gently dig them up. Here we are again. I'll gently dig them up with love and separate them out. And so instead of one plant, I'm now going to have like, multiply this whole thing by probably 6. I'm going to need more space, right? Which again, whoops, thanks darling, is this feeling of so much more abundance, so much more juice, yeah? And it's all about how we do things. Yeah, I want to tell you a little bit about these wicking beds, just because I'm really excited about them. So these wicking beds, I'm going to turn it back around again. If you don't know about wicking beds, half of these beds are as water, All right, so the bottom half is a water reservoir that we've created with stones and water, and there's a liner that we've put in these ColourBond frames. They're just a frame. It's earth on the bottom, but we've put a liner in and about halfway up and filled that with stones and water. You can use sticks, you can use crates, you can use piping, you can use all sorts of things to fill that space. You're just trying to fill the bottom half and leave enough space for lots of water. So it's filled with water halfway up, and then the rest of it is filled with a beautiful mix of some soil from the ground here when we leveled this out, our compost bins. Look, we have compost bins in the corner, so our own compost. It's also filled with mushroom compost. We have an amazing source of mushroom compost here on the island, and I think we just needed a little bit of extra soil, so we just got some from our local nursery with just some bags of, raised bed mix, because we just needed a little bit extra. So that's the beautiful mix in the top. And then the idea is that the water wicks up, with the plants demanding the water, it wicks up from the bottom instead of you consistently having to water from the top, which aids evaporation, means you're going to have to water a whole heap more. And we obviously got like super, super thick mulch. We've got like, it's about, 5 centimeters at least of mulch in there. And so this is another way of being like so abundant, about making more out of less, if you like. See these little tubes? This is where you pour the water in to keep filling up the reservoir of the water below. So as long as the reservoir below is full and there's a little overflow down here, see that little hole? That's the overflow. So once the water starts coming out of there, we know that we have got enough water in our reservoir, and it should be able to wick up. It can wick up 30 centimeters through the soil. So there's 30 centimeters of soil, and that's what we plant into. And so probably, is it 2 or 3 weeks, I think, that this has been in here. I have only topped up that water level once. And I've done a couple of just top waterings just because we're right at the beginning. So you need to keep the soil wet just at the beginning until it kind of gets the idea that it's soaking up, right? And you only need to do that. So I have probably done this like 2 or 3 times maximum in the last, I think it's probably 3 weeks that I planted this out, actually. Definitely 2, maybe 3. And moving forward, I'm probably only going to need to just check on topping that up every 2 weeks instead of maybe coming out and checking and, watering every few days. So how amazing is that? So all of these ways that we can save time, save energy, feel more abundant, make things more easeful in our life. So why am I sharing this all with you? You might be thinking. Because it all flows over into every part of your life. You can see my lovely washing line here. Let's go back down here. It all flows over into your life, right? If you are always feeling like life has to be a struggle, everything you do has to be an effort in order to achieve it, if you have got this story of struggle equals reward, then you need to be looking at that, because you may not have it in one area of your life, but if you have it in another area of your life, it is going to start affecting different parts, right? Some areas you've got ease, some areas you've got struggle. You need to kind of create ease through everything. That doesn't mean you sit on your bum and do nothing. It means you do the practice of feeling easefulness in your body, and you get inspired to take divine action, which feels good in the doing of it, because it's inspired action, right? And when your will is aligned with what you're doing, when it feels good, then you create better outcomes instead of forcing yourself to struggle through something and create difficulties, right? And obstacles come in the way continuously. Make sense? So by choosing to garden in a way, and there's permaculture ways, and we used to do a lot of permaculture, but we decided we'd give wicking beds a go. To do this in a way that is really easeful and abundant just matches everything else of where I'm at, right? And we want everything, remember, to be aligned and coherent. You want to do all of your life in a way that is easeful and abundant, yes, and feels good. So I would love you to put any comments below around this. And if you're growing some stuff, how does that make you feel? In what areas of your life have you noticed that you are making things harder than they need to be because you feel you should? And in what ways are you embracing ease and abundance? Awesome. All right, my lovelies. Mwah. Time for me to head inside. Have a great day, everyone.